Thank you for this teaching, Shunya. I'm reflecting on tranquility, wonder, delight. Mm-hmm. And in this closing days of Kali Yuga, in the best of circumstances, we are told to live in wonder from children. And so we might hear of cosmologists talking about when they were a child, they were in wonder of the cosmos. And then they go on to the university and learn all about the mathematical equations, and that end up in delight with their PhD or their Nobel Prize. And so that's one form of wonder. But then there's another wonder, which is the wonder, let's say, and that would be the wonder of number. And then perhaps horizontally across, there's the wonder of the word, expressed in poetry, and expressions from the heart of delight and the infinitude of the potentiality of consciousness. But then there's also the wonder and delight of silence. And so I don't have a question, or at least I haven't formulated a question, but I'm looking at those signifiers and thinking there are many forms, and one could easily get distracted or waylaid by the form of wonder or delight or tranquility that is really missing the mark. But there's that ultimately that wonder and delight is in the silence.
Yeah, I have to take issue with you about that. I think that the wonder indeed is the beginning of philosophy and the beginning of the desire to study science, to know the universe. But I think once one is put through the educational system, the wonder disappears, and it's replaced by a need to fit in with the logic of the paradigm that one is taught. And then there's no longer wonder. You're not allowed to wonder beyond that paradigm. It's only those very few scientists who break free and have a paradigm shift, an Einstein or a Clark Maxwell or one of those great scientists that bring a new paradigm into being, Max Planck and the early quantum physicists who broke free of determinism and materialism entirely. But for most, it's about getting ahead in publishing in the right journals and doing all of those things, and the politics of getting a professorship, et cetera, et cetera. So I tend to think that the wonder of pure number is not there for most people in those fields, because the ego gets in the way and there's too much anxiety about being right in the eyes of the other who doesn't really understand anything but has a certain system that one has to fit into to be accepted and given that Nobel Prize or whatever. And so I think the culture of number is stagnant in that sense and not producing wonder. And I think the same is true with the culture of the word. In fact, I think we're near the death of the culture of the word. The reason is people no longer trust each other's word. They don't trust the promises. They don't trust the stability of what one says. Trump is a perfect example of that, right? One day it's one thing, and the next day that's totally gone. One day he's kissing Elon Musk, and then he's fighting with them, and then maybe the next day they're hugging again, and they're fighting on the fourth day, whatever. But you can't trust any stability. And I don't think people read anymore. Like that talk last night where he was talking about James Joyce and, the artists. Does anyone really read Joyce anymore? Do they read Ezra Pound? Do they read any serious writers? Do they read Heidegger? Do they read, philosophy anymore? Very few people read. They'll go to a YouTube video about it rather than actually encounter the writing. The culture of the word is dead. Now you have these little marks people will put on their emails, a heart or hands, whatever. All of these little signs, but there's no more articulation of ideas using the rich vocabulary that is our heritage. It's basically dead. And so I don't think wonder exists in that either. I think the only wonder is in the culture of silence and in the giving of oneself to an infinite consciousness that exists beyond word and number or any possible conceivability by the mind.
Makes perfect sense, and thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate your thoughts on the matter, and I think it's a very important point to recognize that we are at the point of the death of culture. Even in science, it's dead. There's been a stagnancy. There haven't been breakthroughs in physics in many years, and there has been a more and more of a reductionist view of just trying to fill in the small print of the theories and no innovation of thought itself. So I think you bring up a very important point.
Makes sense, and it's nonsense.
Yes, it is.
And in the world of Lepidoptera, what the scientists or the entomologists are working on are trying to find ever more new species by dividing the species into subspecies and then getting recognition and being able to name them.
And put their name on it.
And put their name on.
Yeah, that's it. It's all ego now. Yeah. Thank you for that. The Lepidopterus doesn't change its spots.